Hey everyone, welcome to our Health by Science Mobility project. So this project for the weeks 1 to 4 consists of 2 workouts, and in this first one we will have 6 exercises. We'll try and perform 10 repetitions each, so let's get to it. So for the first exercise we'll start with a 90-90 reach. So if you set ourselves up, one leg in front of you, knee bent at 90 degrees, another leg behind you, knee also bent at 90 degrees, hence 90-90 sit. And then from there, we're going to reach towards the floor, try and touch the forearm to the floor, and then go back, reach behind you, and twist. That's one. And we'll swap over to the other side. So okay, again, leg in front, knee at 90 degrees, other leg behind you, knee at 90 degrees. We'll go reach towards the floor, and then reach back. Now don't worry if you can't touch all the way down to the floor, totally fine, just go as low as you can, and then focus on reaching behind you and twisting down. Yeah, again we're aiming for 10 repetitions on this side, so you've got 4. And last one, and 10. Perfect. So that was our first exercise. That's called 90-90 reach. Really good for your hips, mobility in your hips, your glutes. You know, you get a little bit of rotation through your spine as well, so really nice overall whole body mobilization. So the next one we'll have a look at will be some bridge and reach once again. So to set ourselves up in the bridge position, we want to go in this sort of setup, and then we want to lift the hips up. Now from here, the weight is 50-50 between your feet and your hands, yeah? You don't want to be relying a bit more on your hands, you don't want to be relying a bit more on your legs. So if you set yourself up here, hips off the ground, I'm going to take one arm in front of me, I'm going to push the hips up, and then I'm going to reach over and look at the hand that's down on the floor, okay? Then bring it back down, and then repeat again. Hips up, reach, look at the hand on the floor. Now, what we see often happening is when we push up, sometimes people can go up onto their toes. Ideally, we're trying to avoid that, okay? So try and keep those heels down, push the hips up, reach, and look at the hand down on the ground, okay? Perfect, 6. We've got one more on this side, and 10, perfect. We'll come back down. If you need a break, totally fine, you can shake out, and we'll swap the sides around, yeah? So, set up, weight 50-50 between the feet and the hands, and then I'm going to take my other hand up, push the hips up, reach over, look at the hand that's down on the ground. 1, good. 2, remember we're trying to keep those heels down, not pushing them up. back down. So that was our bridge and reach. Again, good exercise for an extension that you're getting through your hips, through your spine, and there's a little bit of rotation coming through your shoulder as you're reaching over. Get a nice stretch all the way through your lats as well. Yeah? So, on to the next one, and that will be a pigeon stretch, but we'll also add the thread and needle to it. So this will, again, mostly work on our hips, but it will also work on your shoulder and your upper back. Okay, so if you sit up for the pigeon, we'll go one leg in front, same as a 90-90 sit, the knees bending 90 degrees. But this time round, the back leg, we'll try and straighten that behind us. Okay? So once we're in this position, if you have your right leg in front, I would like you to take your right arm, and then we're going to thread the needle through the space between your left arm and your right ankle. Okay? And from there, we'll try and aim to go as low as we can so that your right shoulder touches the ground, and then coming up, we'll give it a bit of a twist. And then reach all the way down again, and come back, a little bit of a twist. And carry on, we've got 3 more. Five more, sorry. Step on each side, so that's 1, 2, 3. And last 2 on this side. Perfect, okay. So to swap around, we'll bring the left leg forward this time round, stretch the right one behind you, and exactly the same thing, we'll take the left arm this time and we'll thread the needle between the right wrist and the left ankle. So all the way down, try and reach towards the floor. Don't worry about if you're not being able to get all the way down to the floor, just go as low as you can, okay? Also remember, you should only move as fast as you can control. We want to be able to have control all the way throughout the movement. 4, 5, we're halfway, we've got 5 more on this side. And one last one, and 10, good, okay. We're going to bring it up, and then for this next one, we'll actually need to stand up. So, this next one is a lateral squat, so you might have seen this one before. You might find this one easy, you might find it a bit more challenging. If you find it a bit more challenging, it's totally fine to use a chair to support yourself in front of you or to the side, okay? So to set up for the lateral squat, we'll want to have the feet a bit wider than your hips apart, and then you can point your toes out. And now from there, we'll just transfer the weight onto one side, come back up and go over the other way. We'll be aiming for 10 on each side, so 20 in total. All the way throughout the movement, think about pushing your hips back behind you, trying to touch your bottom towards the wall behind you. Very good. And we're halfway. We've got 10 more in total, 5 on each side. Don't worry, throughout this movement you will feel a pull behind your knee and in your hamstrings. Totally normal, but just make sure that you're not going to the levels of discomfort that are just not very nice. There you go. 5 more. 1. Good. 3. 4. Good. And one last one on the lateral squat. There we go. Nice one. Perfect. So that's 4 exercises down. We've got 2 more to go in this workout. And the next one will be a spinal wave. So we've got a little bit of a alternation here. So we'll set ourselves up on all 4s And now from here, what I would like you to do is we'll just sit back onto our heels, have the hands stretched in front of you so that you're sort of in a child's pose. And now, from here, what I would like you to do is brace your core, so tense up your abs, and we're going to start bringing the hips up, and then slowly start moving them forward. And as we go forward, we drop them down, pull the shoulder blades together, and look up into the sky. And then to start coming back, we'll initiate by tucking the chin in, and then pushing the ground away from you. And then just slowly coming back into the child's pose. That was one, and then start with the hips coming up and forward. Slowly bring them down, look up into the sky, pull the shoulder blades back together, tuck the chin in, and come back nice and easy. That's it, there we go. So the hips go up, forward, down, look up, tuck the chin in, and slowly start coming back. That's 3, I'll do 2 more in this variation, and then the other 5, I'll do that in a little bit of a progression, okay? So it's going to be a bit tougher, but you will get a little bit more benefit out of it. But it's totally fine to just stick with this variation where your knees stay on the ground the whole time. You'll be absolutely fine. Your spine is still getting a lot of flexion and extension through. It's really good for your spine health, okay? So then for the progression, if you feel like that's a little bit too easy for you, what you can do is you can spice things up a bit. And the way we'll do that is when we're set up in our child's pose, we're just going to take the knees up, and then all we're going to do is we're going to straighten the legs. And then once we're at the top, we're then going to start pushing forward. And once we can't go forward anymore, we'll drop the hips down without touching the floor, yeah? Tuck the chin under, push the ground away, and come back into the child's pose, but just keep those knees off the ground the whole time. Straighten the legs, push the hips forward, come back down, look up. Tuck the chin under, push the ground away, come back. Perfect. We've got 3 more. There we go. Straighten the knees. Push the ground away. Very good. And the last 2 on the spinal wave. There we go. The very last one, straighten the legs, hips go forward. Once they can't go forward, they go down, look up into the sky, to come back, tuck the chin under, push the ground away, and come back, finally into the child's pose. Perfect. 5 down, we've got 1 last one, and this one is a rolling side plank. This has got, again, 2 variations, so we'll aim for 10 on each side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the easier one, and then I'm going to show you the version that's a little bit tougher. Okay, so to set up for the easier version of the side plank roll, so we'll set up with our knees bent, and the knees will stay on the ground the whole time, yeah? So from there, I'm going to bring my hips up, and now I'm focusing on pulling my hips up using these muscles here, rather than just pushing my arm down to lift myself up, okay? Now from here, we'll cross the arm across your chest, and I'm going to bring this top shoulder down towards the ground, and then bring it back up. And that's our side plank roll. You got 2, 3. Try and keep those hips up. Don't let them drop down. Got 1 more. 6. Okay, right. So now onto the more difficult version. It's just your normal side plank setup where your legs are straight, your knees are off the ground. So if you set yourself up there, bring the hips up. Again, focus on lifting your hips rather than pushing up through your arm. Arm crossed. Bring the shoulder towards the ground. Bring it back up. 2 more. Five. Perfect. Nice one. Now we'll go on to the other side. Don't want to end up being lopsided. So let's have a look. So we'll start with the easier version for the first 5 repetitions again. So knees bent, keep them on the floor, lift the hips up, focusing on lifting up rather than pushing into the floor. Hand crossed over your chest, bring the shoulder towards the floor and then roll it back up. 1, good. We've got 1 more. Perfect. 5. Okay, so 5 more. I'm going to do the progression, so I'm going to straighten my legs out, but totally fine for you to just stay in that bent knee position, yeah? So hips up, arm across my chest, and then roll down, bring it back up. And last one. 5. Very good. Alright. So that's it for you. That was the workout number 1 for the weeks 1 through to 4. I had 6 exercises in this workout. We went for 10 repetitions for each exercise. However, if you're a little bit short on time or at the moment you're not able to perform 10 repetitions in one go, it's totally fine to cut it down to 8, 6, 4 or even 5 and then just do maybe 2 sets rather than just 1. I hope you enjoyed this and I will see you in the workout number 2 for the weeks 1 through to 4. Thank you.